Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me on the Unlearning Lab with JAR Consulting Group. I am here with Kevin Wosmansky. He is the founder, the owner, the CEO, and head of security for JAR Consulting Group. How are we doing today, Kevin?
Careful on that one, Mike. I don't know a whole lot about cybersecurity. We pay some really great people to do that for us. So
I didn't say cybersecurity. I just said security
you did say that. So
because you are a retired Marine.
actually, I didn't retire. I'm just a Marine that served. So
Okay, fair enough. I am actually very excited about this episode today. And the reason why is I was at a place of business having some Mountain Dews, and somebody asked me a question. And they were asking how they could get their business recommended by ChatGPT and AI assistants. I was kind of telling them what I do for a living, and they were asking me how they could get recommended by these AI assistants. So, could you give me a brief overview of how that happens?
I'm laughing because this could be probably one of the most commonly asked questions in business today, and it's how do I get my business recommended by ChatGPT, and I'll add AI assistants.
Okay.
I guess the simple answer that I tell people is at JAR Consulting Group, we've developed a 7-step process for getting businesses recommended by AI assistants like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gronk. And it's built on 23 years of our understanding of how search and recommendation systems evaluate authority. So that's my clinical answer. That's the professional answer, if you will. So, but in layman's terms, how do I get my business recommended by ChatGPT? The very short answer is it takes a lot of work, and ChatGPT is trying to answer a question, and they're going to use all this super computational power to come up with the best answer. And the best answer is always going to be whoever is viewed as the expert. It's going to be who is the person that's putting information out there that ChatGPT says that's the best answer. So if you want to get your business recommended by ChatGPT, you need to put the best information out so you become the answer to the question. And the way that we have found out in doing that is there's really 7 different key steps that your business needs to very actively, or I should say proactively, be doing. So does that answer your question, Mike?
It does a little bit. So you said that there's 7 steps. Let's start at the beginning. What's step 1?
Mike, step 1 would be let me say this. There's 7 different areas, and all of them are very equally weighted. They're very important. I'm not going to say there's a specific 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this order you must do. These are 7 different steps or areas of focus your business really needs to be proactively engaged in. Step 1 is you really need to have a very comprehensive, well-structured website that AI crawlers can very easily parse. They can go through it with very clear entity information. So you need very, very clear structured entity information. And what do I mean by that is you have the front side of that website, which is, as we like to call it, the user experience, the UE, right? Like how does it look? What are the colors? What's the brand? What content is on that website? Can I read the content on that website? So that's all really important. But more important is what's the website architecture? More importantly, what's the website coding? Does it have proper schema markup? Is it built so that AI crawlers can go through that website and see the information? And I will tell you that the majority of websites out there today, that if you have not updated your website in the last year, you're probably out of date. So that's not across the board on every website, but especially your small to medium-sized businesses, if you do not have your own web team on staff, something you should certainly be looking at. So step one, there you go, Mike.
Step one. So sounds like a lot of those words are going to be confusing to people, and because everybody's not an IT web developer, sounds like they probably should talk to you about that. You might know a little bit about it. Okay, what's step two?
All right. Well, all right. Step two. How do I get recommended by ChatGPT? You got to create content that directly answers the questions people are asking AI. It's really that simple.
How do you do
that? How do you do that? You update your website. You create content around your business. Something that I will tell you that we are seeing across every vertical, it seems to be that whenever someone's looking for a service, one of the number one questions asked always starts with how much, and somewhere ends with, does this cost? So, Mike, we've been in business a long time. We are in the process for my business right now of creating content that answers that question. How much does a new website build cost? How much does AI search authority engine or GEO cost? I'm going to answer those questions. And it's interesting because people don't want to answer that question because they don't want their competitors to know. Guess what? If that's the most asked question that's out there, how much does this service cost? Answer the question. But the other part of that, though, is what are the other questions people are asking about your business? Like it's your business. You're the expert. Like when customers or prospects call you, what are the questions they ask? Right now, they're asking you those questions. Over the next 6 to, 18, 24 months, all of your customers are going to evolve to asking those questions to Gronk or to Gemini or to Copilot or whoever. So that's the second step, is you really need to figure out what are the questions specifically about your industry or your business that your prospects are asking, and you need to create content around that.
Perfect. So now that they've cleaned up their website, they've created some content, what's next? What's the third step?
Third step, I would say it definitely is you need to establish entity clarity.
What does that mean?
You don't like to read up on entity clarity? Is that?
I will tonight, just for you, Kevin.
No, you won't.
I know.
This is complicated. Entity clarity, Mike, is your business name, your location, the services you offer, your expertise. All of this should be clearly and consistently mentioned across every corner of the World Wide Web. So what I mean by this is, this is referred to as your NAP, name, address, phone number listings. There's all of these different places are out there, like your website, your Facebook page, your Google business profile page. Maybe you subscribe to Better Business Bureau. All of these different things, you need to have a absolute clear, coherent name, address, phone number, and everything that has to do with your entity. It needs to be the same across all of these different places where people go and look.
Perfect. So I'm going to turn this in.
I'll add one more thing in there. Your brand.
Yeah.
Got to think about the brand, right? Your brand identity might be a better way of talking about this. So we'll talk more about brand later, but anyways, does that answer that question?
It does. It does. I'm going to turn this into the 12 days of Christmas here. So here we go. So we've cleaned up our website. We've got our content created. We've straightened out our name, address, phone numbers, all that good stuff. We've got our entity clarity all done. What's step 4?
Step 4, I would say, is you need to start earning citations from very authoritative sources. So, Mike, all of the large language models and AI systems, they put a lot of weight on content that other sources trust. So high authority sources that you can reference or link to. Some examples would be like Reddit. So maybe you're posting content and other people start reposting or talking about you on Reddit. Guess what? That's not you talking about it on your website. That's other people that are talking about you. Industry journals, trade publications, other news sites, all of these different places where you're being referenced or cited, all the AI crawlers are going to go out and see that. Now, what that does is that increases your authority. So that's it's a super important thing that is sort of outside of you. It's outside of your website. It's outside of your social media. But that would be that fourth critical step.
Perfect. So clean up the website, created some content, cleared up my entity, got some citations. Now what do I do? What's step 5?
Step 5, we're going to get a little bit geeky here. So you really need to make sure you're implementing proper schema markup, which is,
can you tell me what that is, please?
Schema markup is code. It is code that goes on the backside of your website. So for instance, whenever we do blog posts, we create schema markup for each blog post so that it is more easily readable to all the AI crawlers.
Thank you.
So we're talking about things like including schema markup for local businesses, FAQs, how-tos, speakable specifications. So AI systems, they read your data like a structured database. Okay. You need to make it so easy for AI crawlers to be able to read and understand.
Wow. Okay. So that sounds very technical. Sounds like a great job for, Jar Consulting Group. Okay. So
shameless plug, Mike. Thank you.
Shameless plug. I know. I work for you. Of course I'm going to give shameless plugs. I like my job. So anyway, so now we've built a website. We've created some content. We've cleared up our entity. We've got some citations. We've implemented proper schema markup. That I know what that is now. What's step number 6? Now what do we do?
So step 6, we're digging into review profiles, right? You really need to maintain active review profiles. Businesses that have strong, consistent reviews on Google, on Facebook, on other industry review platforms, and industry directories, they get cited by ChatGPT 3 times the rate of those without. So now we're talking about your online reputation, and this isn't anything new. Reputation management, Google reviews have been and still will be extremely important for a business. So if you really don't have a very active reputation management or review system, you need to get one. It is and has been very important for just Google and search engine optimization, local SEO. It's becoming even that much more important to LLMs like ChatGPT. So
that makes perfect sense. I guess as long as the internet's alive, you probably need to maintain your reputation on the internet. But if it goes away, then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Exactly.
So as long as the internet's here, that's important. So that one was actually an easy one that I actually understood, Kevin. Thank you for
well, after schema markup, Mike, I had to bring it down a little bit for you. So
you did. I mean, my IQ is not the greatest. So now here we go. I'm feeling good about myself. I've got my website. I've created my content. I've established my entity clarity. You know what? I got my citations. I've got my schema markup that I now know what that is. My reputation is amazing. What is number 7 and the final thing someone needs to worry about?
Step 7 is having a consistent content strategy where you are publishing your content on platforms that AI systems actively ingest. So that is, again, real fancy speak for you need to be consistently creating content to put on your website blog, on your YouTube channel with the full transcripts, on doing like LinkedIn articles, ideally doing, live content creation like we're doing right here, right now on podcasts that go on all of these major podcast streaming services like Audible and Apple Podcasting and obviously YouTube and you name it. So, that is a really critical component, and that is actively creating consistent live content, real content. So many people think they're just going to go to AI and say, hey, Claude, create 100 blog posts for me, and I'm going to go stick them on my website. That's no bueno. That's not a good thing to do. Notice I said create original, authoritative, consistent content, right? The key there is original content, not generative content. So AI that creates that wonderful, amazing, simple content also knows AI created it.
Makes sense.
Little secret, AI is looking for people that are actually creating the original content like we are right now.
Real
So
humans.
real humans, absolutely. They're not looking for other agentic models that created content. Actually, they kind of just completely skip over that altogether. So,
Which, in the grand scheme of things, kind of surprised me that you asked me to host these podcasts for you, because that fear of Hollywood coming and taking me away, I know that's in the back of your brain every day, Kevin, because this AI is it's gonna put me everywhere.
man, if I could create AI Mike, man, I wouldn't need you anymore now, would I?
You probably could, but it wouldn't be as much fun.
No, and you know what? You make a really good point right there, because just the time that we're putting into doing this, it takes time, it takes work. And Mike, as you know from what we do with a lot of our clients, we help our clients create the content. And this is something AI is not going to take away. I mean, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. And that's, how do I get ChatGPT to recommend my business? Guess what? You got to put work in. You got to educate. You got to be an expert. To do that, it takes real humans. So all that to say, Mike, I plan on keeping you around at least for a solid month or two more. Okay.
Nice. That's will be just in time for my cruise, so that works for me. Kevin, if you had to wrap up today, what do you want business owners to take away from what we talked about today?
The number one thing I want businesses to take away from our conversation is this: everyone is starting to wake up to the fact that, ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI model that you use in your business or your day-to-day life, they're all waking up to the fact that, that people are starting to transition into this. And what I want the business owner to understand is it absolutely takes work. It takes investment in time and probably some financial resources for most businesses, because these are, capabilities or skills that are probably outside their day to day. But it takes time more than anything. And it takes a commitment to build your own brand up to become the expert in whatever your business is. And if you're not doing that, what you're going to see is that other businesses are going to flourish. And this is something every single business can do. And again, the more businesses that invest time and effort and energy into building up a brand and becoming an expert and just answering the questions their customers are asking, those businesses are going to be ahead of the ball game for sure. So
very good. I learned a lot today. And that gives me a better answer. So next time I'm having Mountain Dews at the local soda shop, because I frequent those a lot.
Yeah.
And yes, it is 1952. I have a better understanding of what to answer people.
And Mike, the next time somebody asks you that question when you're out having a Mountain Dew or a Pepsi at this local soda shop, just tell them, say, there's just go online, look it up. If they ask about what we do, just tell them at JAR Consulting Group, we've developed a 7-step process for getting businesses recommended by AI assistants. It doesn't happen overnight. There's a process, and we tell our clients it takes 6 months to a year. Sometimes it happens faster than that. Sometimes it might take a little longer than that.
Right.
But the really thing that they need to understand is they have to put in the work. And obviously our company does this for many businesses. And so they hire us to do it. And
right.
they're paying us to do all the work, basically. But with that being said, that would be what they need to understand is there's a process, there's a lot of steps in order for the large language models to, 1, find you, and 2, learn about you, and then 3, recommend you. So there's your takeaway. Next time someone asks you that question. All right.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Now I feel a little smarter. I think I've gained a couple IQ points today, which usually doesn't happen. The Mountain Dews usually take a few off. So I appreciate you getting me back up to, the IQ level of a normal person.
Just get ready, because tomorrow there's going to be a test on schema markup that you're going to have to pass. All right.
Yep. I'm going to go to the soda shop tonight and study.
Yeah. You go do
Kevin,
that, buddy.
it's always fun talking to you. You're my favorite podcast. We've known each other for a lot of years. Thanks for everything. Thanks for joining Kevin and I again on the Unlearning Lab. I hope you all had as much fun as Kevin and I did. Hope you learned a lot too.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Mike. Take care, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Kevin.